In match day 12 of the Premier League, Wolves welcomed Aston Villa to Molly Nukes in hopes of turning their season around, getting their season back on track. But unfortunately for them, Semedo makes a mistake at the end, concedes the penalty. El Ghazi converts for Aston Villa, and Aston Villa leaves with the 1-0 victory, sinking the Wolves even further this season. A very frustrating game to watch, especially if you're waking up at 4:30 in the morning like I did to catch this game. Real frustrating game. Highlights a lot of problems that the Wolves have. Wolves can't score goals to save their lives. Their midfield needs some energy and needs some juice. There's not enough energy coming from that midfield right now. There's no link up between the midfield, the defense, and the midfield. It just seems like it's either one of our forward players is doing something, or we have the ball in the back just swinging it side to side. The midfield needs to come alive. Semedo is a liability on defense. Can't be overstated. 37 million was a price tag that they brought him in for in the summer to replace Matt Doherty. And so far, to say he's underperformed would be an understatement. He has not provided that spark going forward. He's super pacey, and he's just not creating chances. He's not getting service across. What is Semedo doing good right now? I mean, someone fill me in. If you're a Wolves fan, comment down below. What is Semedo doing good right now? Because I don't see too much things he's doing. He's not providing overlapping runs, dangerous overlapping runs. He's definitely not defending well. It's just frustrating to see that the Wolves spent 37 million on a guy like Semedo that got torched in Champions League last time he was in the spotlight. And I mean, for all the correct signings that the Wolves have done over the years, you think they would have been able to reinvest the Jota money into better quality players, like some low-key signings like Podence and stuff like that. But no, they try to make a big splurge on the right back position of all positions too, when you're trying to transition into a back four. Didn't really understand the signing back then, but I trusted the board. I trusted Nuno. And honestly, Semedo has let me down a lot this year. Hopefully he's able to turn it around, but he just looks like he's not a good defender, to be honest. Even in his time with Barcelona, his time here, he's just not a good defender. He needs to provide a lot going forward to make up for his liability on the defensive side, and right now he's not providing that going forward. That's one of the issues. Another issue, like I said, the midfield is dead. Den Docker, Moutinho, they don't offer enough going forward. Den Docker had 2 chances today that he should have put away, one in the first half, one in the second half. The second half one, you got to finish those. Neto shows his brilliance on the left side, does some fancy footwork, crosses it with the Rabona. Den Docker's in the middle of the box, wide open. You got to finish those chances. He basically kicks it straight to the goalkeeper. Goalkeeper makes a pretty good, decent save. But chances like that, Den Docker, you have to finish that. But like I said, he's a defensive-minded midfielder. He's not a box-to-box. He doesn't feel comfortable inside of the opponent's box, in my opinion. And you need a more offensive-minded midfielder that is able to put those chances away. We got Vitinha on a loan from Porto with the chance to buy, option to buy. We need to see him. We need to see him on the field. We need to see what he's able to provide for the team. Neves needs to work his way back into the 11. He has been struggling this season, but he's super young. He has world-class potential. I need to see Neves on the field. What else is wrong with the Wolves? The forwards can't score. Silva looked good today. I wanted to see Silva in the starting 11, and Nuno put him in the starting 11. I think he did solid for his first start, 18 years old. His movement needs to be a little better. You could tell the difference having him and having Raul Jimenez. There was a couple chances that I think Raul would have finished. Namely, like one of the last plays in the first half was a cross from the right side, and he was one of the first attackers in the box, and he had a pretty clean header, but he wasn't able to guide it. I think that header, if you guys watch the game, that's a header that Raul Jimenez, maybe he doesn't score all the time, but he at least gets it in the goal and makes the keeper make a save, or at least he gets the ball in the goal on that opportunity. Don't blame Silva. That's a tough header. He just needs to keep progressing. I think he made some good runs. He needs to maybe work a little bit more on his runs. He did lose the ball in possession a couple of times, but for the most part, He was a good link-up player. He was opening the ball out to his wingers. So if there's any assessment I have from Silva this game, is that he looks promising, and I don't see why they shouldn't keep starting him. There's no other option, really. It's either you play Potence at the false nine or you play Silva as your starting striker. And I think the formation with Silva as your starting striker is a little stronger. Potence a little back. Potence was another bright spot. Potence and Neto, bright spots. They look dangerous. There was a foul they called on Potence at the end. That was bullshit in my opinion. That was not a foul. Potence was just running. That kind of led to the goal. It led to the penalty after that play. But overall, just frustrating game by the Wolves. This transition to the back four is more frustrating than I would have imagined. It's rough. It's hard on the eyes. It's just been a rough season for the Wolves right now. I expected so much more from the Wolves, and they have Chelsea up next, so it doesn't get any easier. We'll see if they're able to turn their season around on Tuesday versus Chelsea, but there's a lot of problems with this team that I just don't think can get fixed till the January transfer window or when Raul Jimenez comes back. And another one, Adama Traoré, he needs to keep progressing as a player for all the pace he has, for all the threat he is going forward, especially on the counterattack. He's just not there yet mentally. There was one play in the first half that really comes to mind where the Wolves have numbers on their counterattack, and he has Potence on the right side, and he's pretty central. He's pretty like in the middle of the field, and instead of progressing down the middle where the defenders have to stay with you in the middle, and then you're able to lay the ball off to Potence, and maybe Potence, if you keep going down the middle, defense stays compact in the middle, and Potence makes that run, and he's wide open. And Potence was already making that run. He's already on your right side. He's following along with you. But Adama Traoré, he's not there yet mentally. He doesn't realize what's going on, and he cuts right. He cuts towards his right foot, which is his strong foot, but he cuts right. He basically cuts Potence's pathway, and then one defender is able to stop two players because they're both going the same way. And then he does a weak shot, and goalie stops it with no problem. It's just plays like that where Adama Traoré just needs to find a way to assess the situation better and just have better end products. But frustrating Wolves start to the season. But hopefully Silva keeps progressing. He looked good. One of his chances hit the post, unlucky. Maybe on another day it goes in. But we definitely need more energy in the midfield. Neto's a bright spot. Semedo, I think you need to sit Semedo for a game or two just to put him on notice that just because you came for 37 million doesn't mean you're always going to start or you're an unquestioned starter. You got to earn that spot, and you got to play better defense. There's no way people should be turning the corner on you so easily. They literally is just like a stop and go. The defender accelerates, stops, Semedo bites and goes super close to them, and then they just accelerate and go right past him super quick. Like, come on, Semedo, you gotta be better than that. You gotta be better than that. Especially on a team that's struggling to score, there can't be defensive lapses, and I feel like there's a lot coming from that right back position because of Semedo. Just frustrating start. I hope the Wolves are able to turn it around against Chelsea. And as far as Aston Villa, their surprise start to the season continues. They move up in the table. They still have 2 games in hand, so they could potentially keep moving up. I had them getting relegated because last year they barely survived by 1 point, I believe. So they're surprising me. They're surprising a lot of teams. We'll see how far they could get it. They could keep going this season. But shout out to Aston Villa for having a great start to the season. But that was it. That's it for this game. Frustrating game for the Wolves. And congratulations to Aston Villa for a solid game, solid start to the season. And we'll see how they keep progressing.